Hi, my name's Phil. My wife Valerie and I wanted to make a short video to demonstrate whether it would be possible to take a NX Stage machine on a campsite to do dialysis. The main reason Val chose this machine was because it's supposed to be portable and she wanted to take it camping, but we couldn't find any information on the internet as to whether this is possible, so we thought we'd try to answer the question. I just started this video off at home just to briefly explain to anybody who maybe is not familiar with this machine at all, show the basic workings of it to begin with, so you can see the difference between a home setup and what it would be like on a campsite. So here is the cycler working at the moment, as Val is having a treatment at the moment. And this top part is the part we would take with us. The bottom part here is the pure flow system, and this is where the batch of fluid is made normally. There's a 60 litre bag of fluid in there, and this section of the machine is wired into the water mains and also waste pipe down there. So therefore that piece of the machine cannot be taken away. So what we'll try and do is demonstrate how it's possible to do it with the top part. Okay, here we are a couple of days later, and I'm pleased to say that the cycler is wired up on campsite somewhere in Norfolk and is working perfectly. So the differences we have here is, first of all, it's plugged into a 16 amp hookup. We're not sure if this would work on a 10 amp or not, because the fuse in the plug for the cycler is rated at 10 amp. But it's working perfectly here. We also have plugged into there a small heater, electric heater, and a cool box, both which are running at the same time. There's the heater. So there's the cycler. We have underneath, the first difference is the waste. That's running into a 40 litre water tank, which we can just wheel away and empty. And normally that effluent line would run back through the cycler, sorry, not the cycler, back through the pure flow unit into the waste at home. So that's the first difference. We have this cycler sat on a aluminium work platform, which you can get from a DIY shed. Now the reason we've done that is because of the weight. This platform is about 450 mil high, I think. It's 300 mil wide and 900 millimeters long. And the reason we have that is because if we come back up to the top of the cycler, we've got all of our fluid pre-mixed, which we need to do this away from home. And if you add the weight of all those bags, there's 6 bags there with fluid in, and if you add that to the weight of the cycler, you won't get much change out of 70 kilos. So a normal table will be very hard pushed to support that weight. So another difference is, on top of the cycler we have the heater, which you need to heat that bag of pre-mixed fluid. That's strapped on there. This does take a little while to heat up when you first plug it in, so if you do try this, you might want to plug that in a little bit earlier. And that plugs into the back of the cycler, has its own short power cable, and that goes into the same spot that the pure flow unit at home would normally plug into. Above there we have another 5 bags of pre-mixed hooked up onto the spider, which runs down the back of the machine. And what happens there is those bags run down through the series of pipes, and they actually run into the bottom bag. So what happens is the top bags will slowly empty into the bottom bag, and as a result the bottom bag will always stay full and probably just run down a bit at the end. And as an added bonus, because this bag is warmed up on the heater, it makes a fantastic hand warmer. So apart from the fluid on the top on the cycler, which is running down into the cartridge, and apart from the waste at the bottom, everything else is set up exactly the same. So there we have it. It is possible to do this treatment on a campsite on a 16 amp hookup. If we ever get round to trying a 10 amp hookup, we'll let you know. Right, this is the next morning. I just wanted to mention a couple of bits. First of all, the waste. We had 30 litres of fluid on the machine. So there's that in there, plus I think it was 1.5 litres valve took off. So just make sure you've got enough waste container to deal with the amount of waste you're going to have, because this thing looks like it's almost full. Clinical waste there is normal. Obviously that's got to be bagged up and taken home. There's a couple of white boxes there, that's got all the other stuff in, cartridges, saline, needles, etc. We did bring some spares, but it's still quite a bit of stuff, so make sure you've got enough space for that. And lastly, the pre-mixed. There's 2 bags in each box, and battle needs 30 litres, so that's 6 bags multiplied by a week's worth of dialysis, and that's 15 boxes of fluid, so that's also quite a lot of stuff there. And we've actually had to put all this stuff in our second car and use that to bring it, because there's so much. So just bear that in mind, there's a lot of stuff. Thanks for watching.